TruMon. TruMon. Yeah. We're going to set the night to reggae music. Yeah. Greetings, everyone. Frank should be joining me very soon. Today, we're going to review our talk on the anti-life, on our anti-life system. And we are at Animal Kingdom. So within the Animal Kingdom, I have these are all points that I'm gonna look at with PT and make sense if it makes sense or not. Like example, to have zoos. I don't think this makes much sense to put animal in captivity and like I would see some kind of zoos existing if it's out in the wild, in nature, and you want to go observe the animals, go in the wild. I mean, you can have like platform or something that people can go look at the animals, but not in captivity. I think this is a barbarian demonic, if you ask me. No? To keep a lion in captivity in a cage or a gorilla or like they must go friggin' nuts for sure. It's not good for their mental health. And we want to preserve also the mental health of those animals, definitely. Live in the direct Albanian for life. Scene? Yeah, man, scene. So, yes, it's definitely not a good thing to enclose animals. And so, natural reserve. We already have natural reserves where we go hunt or whatever they do. No? Now, the hunting part. That's another one. Hunting. Go tell people they can't hunt, like especially up north here in Quebec. People go hunt all the time, for sure. So maybe you living in your little place, you don't go hunt, but there is people that go hunt for survival. Does happen. Seal, especially, and stuff like that. So, but I think it be done in a humane way. Can we do this in a human way to kill animals? Anyway, that's a big. It depends also your needs. If you live in a city and you have everything available to you, and I don't think you need to go hunt very much. But Frank is there.
Oh,
Frankie, we are all in the tube.
greetings, greetings. Yes, good to be here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure again to have you on.
Yes.
I just started because I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's time. It's here we are. We're 12. It's new time. 12 o'clock. Let's go.
I was in front of the screen. I'm like, oh, might as well start it.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So today, Frank, we're gonna start with the animal kingdom. That's
Mhm.
what I have on my list: animal
Yes.
kingdom, natural resources,
Hmm.
environment management, like waste management. That's a big
Right.
issue. The rubbish piles, the piles of rubbish.
Oh yeah.
Arts, culture, justice, and rights. Yeah, it's weird to talk about that, but that we have rights, like, but anyway, and immigration because people do travel, do move from country to country, especially today with the ways of traveling that we have.
Hmm.
Like, obviously, we're not. But even that, when we say we're not 500 years ago, there could have been something of very high technology back then also like we make it sound like the car is the invention of the century
Right. Right.
or the plane or the I am pretty sure it did existed before and maybe
Hmm.
it's been wiped out from the face of the earth with some kind of a cataclysm that happened,
Right.
but who knows. I wasn't there, but it doesn't really make sense that us here now, like suddenly AI and all that stuff coming out, that it's like only in these times, like, come on, the earth have existed for such a long time, like, and
Yeah.
I think that's why also they try to inculcate in us this notion of evolution, to not make us see how great also our ancestors were.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we just, focus on the. So animal kingdom, zoos. Zoos. First of all, there's a lot of zoos in the world, definitely. I think
Hmm.
the world is a human zoo,
Hmm.
definitely.
Right.
We live in a big human zoo, but there is zoos that we build for animals and stuff.
Right.
Will these go away in a world where we are more aligned with nature? Yes, probably. We wouldn't keep animals in captivity just to go stare at them and look at them and see them act like they don't even act in a natural way because they're
Right.
kept in cages. Like keep a gorilla in a cage. Come on, the gorilla will go nuts, man.
Right.
I would I would rip that cage, but I have good bars because I would
Yeah.
make my way out being a gorilla,
Yeah.
definitely. So gorillas and all these big animals, lions and stuff.
Hmm.
Even there is some here in Quebec also. There is zoos here, and they have giraffe and all the like. Where the heck you put a giraffe in the winter in Quebec? Like what? You
Yeah.
you ship her out to USA in the south or
Right. Right.
no? So where are they? Do they live inside the lions? The so
Right.
very very not natural those zoos. I find. What do you
Right.
think about zoos and not the human zoo? We know this one,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
animal zoo.
Yeah. I mean, zoos don't. It's a chance to be able to see those animals like and without having to travel to all their natural habitats. I mean, I don't think it's right to keep animals locked up in a cage. Um, Now, one thing that is not open to the public, but I feel like is on the edge of like being more like whatever the word is for appropriate or something. So in Tennessee, the state right next to where I live, there is an elephant sanctuary, and they rescue elephants that maybe they were in the circus or something, and or they injured or something like that. So it's a rehabilitation place for elephants. Now, the United like North America, we don't have elephants over here. But
Never
you
seen
know,
an elephant roam around.
no, I mean apparently what there was. They say there was a woolly mammoth, but who knows? Who knows if that's a
Maybe
thing
up
or if that was
north in
like
the Terre de Baffin or somewhere very north of Canada, maybe, but
yeah,
who's
right.
there?
But who knows if those things were even because even when it comes to that those different ages of animals that existed, like we don't know if people were actually putting together skeletons of different bones or even just like manufacturing like a fake skeleton. Because I mean, there was from a little bit of what I've heard is like whenever, in those days when there was a lot of this like kind of archaeology coming about and people were discovering things, it was like people were trying to make a name for themselves and be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yo, if I make this discovery, then like I'm gonna get up on the thing. And I think it benefited certain people to have like some fake history going, just to kind of like add to the confusion, add to the you don't know anything.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're kind of getting away from the zoo bit. Yeah, I mean, I don't think, um, what Pete talks about is like basically let animals be animals and let them do their thing. Like of course there are animals that we're going to kind of um, interact with as far as like ones that can help us like achieve certain works or something like that, like either horses or cows, bulls, like you know in the proper setting, you can kind of work with animals and they can help us as humans be able to pull things that are more heavy than we would normally be able to do, or even just travel. I don't know, that our interaction with animals, um, I think that we should keep a baseline of like what's appropriate, and not, be. We just don't want to get ourselves into some kind of situation in which we are becoming too distracted from actually doing sensible things. If you're spending all of your earnings or your savings on like taking care of an animal, then like that energy could be going to something more beneficial for like your evolution, your own well-being, your own, improving your own intellect, your consciousness, things like that. So yeah, but zoos, I don't think they're, you know, I mean,
I
the
don't think
animal
we
world is interesting. It's very fascinating
does
because
it
it is a
have
lot of
its place, like in the world, when we want to make the world a better place. Does zoos have their
right.
place?
It's a good question, and it like as far as like how. I mean, I think with what we have today, as far as the technology and the ability to communicate, and people make documentaries. I mean, really, like people can learn a lot about animals, and we don't have to have them trapped somewhere. We could have people who want to specialize in that kind of research, like go to those natural habitats and learn about the animals from a distance and not have to shoot them with a tranquilizer and then like call them off in a back of a truck or whatever,
That's it. That's it.
like that's not
Or
necessary.
you make natural reserves, like you go and watch them in natural settings, like
Yeah,
build
yeah, exactly.
towers or something. Like that big tower PT is sitting on in India.
Oh yeah, yeah, the watchtower that he said out
Yeah,
there.
a watchtower. You build those in the jungle or places, and you bring people there, and you want to watch the animals in the
Yeah,
wild. You go there,
yeah, yeah,
not
exactly.
in a zoo with behind a glass thing, and then like so.
Yeah,
I think the zoos would definitely need to go in the
right.
where we want to make it better for all beings. Also, their mental health also is very affected by the fact that they're in captivity.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Put yourself in captivity and see how your mental health goes out the door. Not too
Yes,
long, no? So
exactly.
you got to be really conscious of that. That the
Mm,
animals also are sentient being. They're not just animals. They have their rightful place here, and they
mhm,
have birthright to exist and to roam free on Earth, just like we do.
mhm,
We don't really, because we're have borders everywhere. Us too, we're in some kind of captivity,
mhm.
But the
Yeah,
brain is in captivity, definitely,
yeah.
captive by evil forces. But yeah, so parks, natural reserves, and the food supply also in protected habitat. I
Mhm.
think we should really have more protected habitat for animals, and better food supply also.
Oh
Better
yeah,
food supply, definitely. And if they are in the wild, they know what to do. I think
right.
they all know what to do instinctively. I don't know how a bear can know exactly which berries to eat and which not, but they know what to do.
Yes,
So
yes.
definitely, you put them into the wild. It's not an issue so much, but the animals that we keep in captivity, definitely better food, just like human. I
Yeah.
think we feed a lot of scrap to animals also.
Oh, definitely.
So even if it's your pet at home or your dog or your so, but some dogs eat better than some human. That's another
That's
thing.
true.
Can't forget that.
Uh,
So within the animal kingdom, what else do you see that I could approach as topic with PT?
yeah. Well, I mean, we have a lot to learn from animals and our relationship with them, and even they're reflected in the ancient histories in the sky. Some of the zodiac signs are represented by animals, um, and I even heard somebody call it the zodiac. You know, because it's like it's
Oh,
represented by sections of animals, and two, even with the nakshatras and stuff like that, there are animal representations for all of those things. And even now, this is a cool bit too. Okay, so maybe we could see if there's anything in terms of, okay, so we got zoos and animals, and we actually have the real life animals that we interact with or that are just coexisting with us, right? But then, you hear about certain things with, different, even just talking about, like this, the animals represented spiritually in the sky and stuff like, but we
Yeah.
also have the spirit animal is something that, we are said to have some kind of energies of spirit animals or something like that, or you like a totem, like a spirit totem that has like kind of animal representatives. So like, how does that help us to understand the energy of our own selves and how we can kind of, and even like, we see the animal energies represented in like different arts, as far as like martial arts and stuff. They'll have like, like this, the snake, like cobra style, or like tiger style, or like, stuff like that. So I think we can learn and like use those animal energies uh in different ways. I don't know, maybe there's a lot of
Oh,
different
they're
things.
big on tigers and stuff on their, like you see,
Yeah,
all
even
the
like Kung Fu
martial arts.
Panda, like the swan, the crane, or
Yeah,
like the grasshopper style or whatever,
yeah, no, it's good.
or
I
praying
like that.
mantis. Yeah, yeah. So,
And also, there is a something, you were talking about the stars. There's also the dog star. No,
mhm.
apparently, allegedly, there is
Right.
dog faces into the star.
Oh wow. Hmm.
I don't know. I someone reported that the other day. No, I saw something and they said, yeah, when it flickers, you take a telescope and you can see dog faces
Wow.
in the star. And we know the stars is a game of joining the dots. Like,
Hmm.
pretty clear. There's all kinds of dots.
Yeah.
So
And in
yeah,
Egypt, they had some of the deities that would have the dog head and stuff like that too.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
the relation between the animals and our strength or weaknesses and stuff are
Hmm.
often attribute to certain animals. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
real
what would
cool.
be good, like as far as making the world better, like what would be a good, common understanding to know our relationship with animals, and then how we relate to animals within our own energy, our own each individual. So
Yeah, because often I will refer to myself as a lion or a bear or something very powerful. So yeah, the relation between animals and yeah, I'm gonna write it.
and the individual, our own like personhood, how can we utilize something that's actually more like representative? Because I feel like probably, your own birth chart maybe may be able to
Yeah.
tell you kind of like an animal signature that you might have or something like that. So
No, very interesting. The zodiac too. The zodiac.
yeah.
So the next one is natural resources and environment management. Now, natural resources, of course, there's the gas, the crude oil, the trees that we cut.
Right.
We cut a lot of friggin' trees out there. Woo! That's something.
Definitely.
Especially, I went to Vancouver Island there, and it's crazy the clear cut that they do. And when they go, they cut everything. Everything goes. It's
Yeah. Right.
crazy. I think there's also something we don't know. There's normally, I think they take trees that grows pretty fast, like the spruce.
Right.
Spruce grows fast, and I think within a few years they can cut it down and
Hmm.
regrow it again. So there's
Right.
definitely ways to manage those resources. Also, I'm not saying don't go in the wood and do not cut wood. It will never happen. Like, it's probably the most common resources we have on Earth is wood,
Yeah. Right.
and probably one of the most precious too. Even more
Yeah.
precious than diamond, probably, or something. Like, it's wood,
Hmm.
and there's some type of wood also. Like, they grow only in certain places. Like in Africa, there's a wood. It's called bois d'ébène. eben wood. I don't know if it's the word in English, but it's a very, very hard wood, like super hard,
Oh yeah.
like indestructible. You cannot break it. You cannot like no Bruce Lee type stuff on that shit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's very, very. So there is a different type of wood that we can use. Definitely for most construction, you see it's spruce. Spruce,
Mm.
épinette en français, je pense. So that's the kind of wood they use. Now I'm
Right.
talking more about the big tree cuts that we do, and I'm sure a lot of stuff go to waste also in the
Hmm.
tree cutting industry.
Yeah.
They use pretty much everything, though. They use the bark, they use the chips, they use like pretty much even the wood shavings. They put it in your cheese. It's
I
called
don't know if I'm,
cellulose. It's called
okay.
cellulose, but cellulose is wood shaving.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
So
Hmm.
just to prevent it, it's a microscopic form of wood shaving, but it still comes from
Hmm.
wood. So
Right.
yeah, so ocean care, who I have on my list, the piles of rubbish that we should manage better and like produce energy with it. You
Right.
can power like all those landfill that you see a lot in Africa. I don't know. Africa seems to be a dump for the world for all the electronics and fridges and stoves and like a lot of
Wow.
stuff end up in Africa.
Mm.
So you can surely manage this better and not have all the rubbish and also the energy it takes to bring that there, to dump it
Hmm.
there. Like it's crazy. No?
Yeah.
So definitely more recycling on this part. Uh, yeah, the recycling of the materials, important. Cotton, like we said the other day, recycling cotton,
Right.
plastic, definitely. Petroleum product, there is the petroleum extraction, but then we have all kinds of product that we make, even food additive and food colorant, and a lot of stuff come from petroleum.
Right.
Now, can we find another alternative than the petroleum product, petroleum based product? Maybe there is. Not a
Hmm.
scientist, I cannot tell you, and I'm not here to redo the wheel and reinvent the wheel.
Right.
We just want to make the world a better place for everyone.
Right.
So definitely, I don't think they will stop extracting crude oil and
Hmm.
make all kinds of products. Definitely,
Right.
maybe it has its place also. Who knows? And
Yeah.
the water is part of the natural resources. So I
Hmm.
don't know what you see in there: the tree cut, ocean care, the rubbish piles, the recycling of the materials we use, petroleum products, and
Right.
water. What else do you see in like natural resources or environment management?
Right. Yeah. That's a good question to bring to Pete of what would be like the ancient Vedic approach
Yeah,
to resource management, and what can we learn from how ancient peoples have uh, lived in harmony with nature, but had what they needed at the same time. So how can we take like a selective harvest of whatever the resource is going to be, but also okay, one of the things that P talks about and that people might not consider it is a lot of the spiritual practices that were common in the ancient Vedic times were actually, in a way, somehow energetically like giving back to the system as a whole, that was making everything more resilient, able to spring back or able to kind of regenerate itself in a better way. So we don't really know what that looks like right now because that's not common. Like nobody's really doing that in a large enough kind of thing to where we can know how that works. But yeah, that's I definitely think that um, like taking the proper proportions, not doing like over harvesting or even like with the ocean management, there's just a lot of different things that seems to, now I don't know if it was intentional, but like the different types of sonar technology, which could have an association with like a lot of those, pods of whales and stuff beaching themselves, or like what's going on with that, because I heard P talk about in the past that like the whales are like the cow of the ocean, you know, and the cows on the earth are an animal that's representative of the earth. And so like having and keeping cows in a positive and pleasant way actually makes a positive kind of energy, or like a stability that's established in that area. And Pete talked about how the whales actually, with the signals that they send out, actually like kind of massage like the earth's surface underneath the ocean, and it kind of keeps everything in balance and keeps it stable. So if the whales aren't doing what they're doing, then like, the plates under the ocean might be shifting, or if the cows aren't kept in a proper way up here, then like the environment also might be shifting. There's a lot of different types of ways that, when we interact with the environment, we might not know the consequences, which is, you know, um, I don't know. It's
But it
something that,
makes sense. It makes sense what you said when you said the whales, the sound they emit must affect the whole electromagnetic field around them, definitely,
yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
earth, just like the birds when they chirp,
Hmm.
when they make little sound, birdies.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
apparently nature hears them, and they suddenly there's stuff in nature that wakes up
Yeah.
before because of the birds chirping, like
Yeah, I've heard the association with the bird
the
sound, and then
cardinal.
like certain like nodules on the underside of leaves will start to open
Yes.
up because the trees will know, hey, the sun's coming. I'm gonna start my process of being able to exchange
So
energy.
I've never really heard a trout making a whale sound. So I'm guessing it's like whales that every fish makes sound.
Yes, yeah, yeah, exactly right.
Like I haven't heard the bass make a sound, like the
uh,
big mouth bass. It's a
right,
nice
right.
fish, but I don't think so.
Yeah,
The whales must be like a high representative of the
they're a
ocean.
different kingdom. I mean, they're not fish because
Yeah.
they're like a mammal, because they breathe the oxygen from the top. They don't have gills, you know what I mean? They have
Yeah.
to go to the surface and breach to breathe, and then they go back down. So
Yeah, we
they're
have all
not.
seen the whale when it shoots the
Yeah,
water.
yeah, exactly, right.
And some have huge mouth too, like the blue whale,
Oh
man.
yeah,
It's
right. It's like,
oh, it open and it
uh,
takes all the water in the fish.
yeah,
Like it's
yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, like like bringing it to P, like what is the proper resource management according to the Vedic? I mean, I know there is, like P talked about, like the fourth of Veda talked about like organizing human populations and like organizing societies. I think that's the Atharva Ved. But like, what is that look like in a way that's balanced, when everybody can actually know like what they need to do, and then start just like taking responsibility for themselves and like how we interact with our environment.
and whales should be left alone, honestly, also because
Oh yeah,
it
definitely.
doesn't make sense for a human to go kill a whale. But you're that hungry, you're gonna
Yeah,
eat a
but
whale?
right,
Just like killing an elephant for a human doesn't make sense. What, you gonna eat an elephant?
right.
So, you go with smaller games or
Exactly right.
like it doesn't make sense. That's why those animals are, I think, those whales and all the big animals are very, very have their a very important place within the ecosystem. That's what I'm saying.
Definitely. Hmm.
Definitely. So yeah, the birds chirping and the whales crying probably affecting a lot in the ocean. Definitely. Next, I have arts and culture. Arts and culture. Now, first thing I have written is art should be done by real artist only, and artist with the H, art, the heart. So if you have succeeded to make that link between your art and your soul, your brain, whatever, call it,
Hmm.
there and there, then you should be qualified as an artist and allowed to put out art in the world. But today, it's pretty much everyone is doing a little thing and they proclaim themselves being an artist. But I think art and culture is not a word that I really, really like because of the cult. But it's good to have a culture. Like, it's
Hmm.
not
Yeah.
necessarily a bad thing to have a culture. And
Right.
that's how we come to know also what our ancestors been doing and stuff. So culture is
Right.
not necessarily so arts and culture definitely. There is lots of art. There is painting, music. What is qualified as an art too? What is what's the definition of art? Do you
Right.
put everything in there? Like, I think it should be reserved for music, definitely. But even that music today, it's done with AI, and I think a lot of the stuff is done with AI. Definitely,
Oh yeah.
not everything. There is still organic music out there, definitely. But a lot of the stuff will move to AI eventually. I'm pretty sure about that. So we have to preserve the organic way of making music. I'm gonna write it down. Organic music,
Yeah.
definitely. Painting can be, there is a lot of hidden signs and symbols, and in a lot of paintings, like
Hmm.
Da Vinci and all these people that have come along, and you can tell the truth in a picture. You can literally paint the truth, paint the reality, like it's on a canvas. And if
Hmm.
you are observant, you will notice the patterns of life, or whatever you put in it, flower of life or Fibonacci, name it. But you can bring your art to another level. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
what do you see in arts and culture, Frank, that I could talk about with PT?
Yeah. 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 Um, well, as far as arts go, my understanding is that the whole purpose and reason of why any art has existed and why it was created in the first place was to rejoice in the creation, in this existence, and to, I know we don't exactly like the eight word part of the celebrate, but to celebrate the elements, to celebrate the earth, and to rejoice for what divine has given us. And so yeah, like at this, in the times that we live in now, it's like they've used different art forms like music or writing stories or different types of painting and stuff like that, or visual art,
Art,
to
architecture too could be
yeah.
considered
Oh
as
yeah,
art.
definitely. They've used that today as a medium to kind of normalize destructive behaviors and violence, and tried to make that, oh yeah, this is just how, I'm just expressing like the inner like
Yeah,
darkness, I'm just trying to, but no, like what he says is like, whenever, if you're going to be sharing something with the world, like make it something that's more like divine oriented or like positive, something that's going to help people like maybe learn something or understand something, or like be like a good example. Don't be something that's going to be like taking people into nonsense or into confusion. Like that's not the purpose of that. I mean,
or
it is an expression, but like that's not like, because P says art is a revolution, so it should revolve in an upward spiral, not a downward spiral, you know
I was gonna say something I forgot.
Sorry, I talked over
No, no,
you.
not
Bulldozed it.
a big deal. It will come back.
But yeah,
Definitely,
all of those art forms, you know, painting, singing, dancing, writing, visual, or even architectural, you know, and it's a celebration, and it's an interaction of like the geometries of divine shape, form, color. Like it's a way of like stimulating all of the senses, right? Uh, hearing, seeing, touch, smell, taste, all of these senses can be stimulated in um, like almost countless ways that can be beneficial to your well-being, and it's like it's a taste, it's an experience of the infinite nature of divine, you know. And so like it's always something to celebrate, it's always something to like rejoice in, because there's just multitudes of like how divine expresses itself, how divine has divided itself into what life is, you know?
so art, if I get what you're saying a lot, is it should be a celebration for the stimulation of our senses. And
Hmm.
that can bring a lot of good vibe into ourselves also, and not
Yeah,
just brings in good vibes, you will put good vibes out.
yeah.
That's
And connect
also,
us to divinity, connect us to
yeah,
nature, connect us to the elements, something higher, you know? Because if we're all like expressing and like putting our attention on things that are fun, enjoyable, but they're also at the same time like connected to nature, connected to divine, then it's also going to be like a learning opportunity. There's so much we can learn through and express different expressions of art and stuff, you know.
yeah, and it's not easy also to paint something, or to do a sculpture, or to bring a piece of music to life. Often it's going to take you hours and hours of
Takes time.
dedication to your craft before you even make it. So definitely,
Yes.
us, we look at it when it's all made, when you have the painting all done, but there's often major amount of work involved in doing those crafts.
Yeah.
So definitely, and I like the stimulation of our senses,
Hmm.
because, like I said, if you are just for painting, and if you are observant, you will see all kinds of stuff in there,
Yeah.
and often you will see all kinds of stuff, and it can also bring light to your being, bring the
Hmm.
truth, the light, and the love to your being. Because yeah, I see some stuff sometimes that is it's mind blowing when once you start recognizing the signs and all the good divine art out there. It can definitely put a smile on your face
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
see it. So it's good. Okay, so that's good for hearts. I really like what you said about senses
Hmm.
stimulation. That's what it should be for. Listening to
Yeah.
music, painting, sculpture, everything that we can touch. Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. It should be more geared towards the stimulation of our senses, which today it's a lot of the music will make you numb
Yes.
and dumb. So
Yes.
it's not
Exactly.
really a stimulation of senses. That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
So if we all together really focus on stimulating our senses in a good way, it definitely can do a lot. Definitely.
Yes.
Uh, Justice, our rights.
Right.
It's weird to talk about rights, but yeah,
Hmm.
and justice, because I don't think in a world where we want to make it a better place tomorrow, not today, we want to make it better today.
Yeah.
I don't think we will eradicate all the justice and the police and the firemen and all this.
Right.
And I don't think it's the way to go at it. But now there's injustice and rights. I have something written here. I think we have brought it up the other day. It's universal income.
Oh, right. Hmm.
Universal income. And the fact that they're talking a lot about it, it will probably happen one day. Abortion, we have talked about.
Hmm. Right.
Uh, the justice system itself.
Right.
Today it's run like a business, especially if you end up in the system in court and stuff. It's a racket. That's
Oh
why
wow. Yes.
they play racket in court and the tennis court and blah blah blah. We know all this. We all have heard it. The racket. So yeah.
Yes.
So justice, rights, universal income, abortion, the justice system. Like what was the Vidzik way back in the day about justice? How were they approaching
Right.
laws? There's also laws in there. The whole
Right.
system of laws and
Yes.
rules and stuff. Because
Right.
there's law, there's rules, there's even if you enter like a public building, they have their own codes and stuff. So the whole of the justice system is very compartmentalized also,
Right.
so it's hard for someone to see the big picture because it's all compartmentalized with like a lot of stuff. But
hmm
yeah, definitely law, rules. What else you see in there, Frank?
Yeah. It will be great to, I mean, and we'll see like, in terms of like like how much like P feels is appropriate to share with the time that y'all have available to talk. But I mean, is really a fascinating topic. As far as I know, I think Jupiter rules over kind of like laws and kind of like I think it's a Jupiterian type of thing in terms of you know governments and things like that. Now, I think also Saturn has to do with governments. I mean, they all play their own little parts specifically within each of those compartments. But what can we learn when you have yourselves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jupiter is Thursday, and we get
Yes.
paid on Thursday. So
Oh.
Jupiter, I think, is significant somewhere in there. So I wrote it down, Jupiterian.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. And I mean, like we can't just say
A
just
Jupiterian society.
right. Yeah. I mean, and Jupiter is the guru of the Davic team. The more heavenly beings. So he is the one. He's the preceptor or the teacher, the guru for the Davic team. Whereas Venus is the preceptor for the Asuras. Now, Venus or Shukracharya is also kind of rules over like diplomacy and being able to like interact with beings in a very tactful and like hospitable way and things like that. So we don't need, I guess, really to get too much into astrology with it. Although, it is a great lens to be able to look at anything through, and the Vedic has like a lot of details in terms of explaining how things work through that lens. But yeah, in terms of like, how, I mean, I think P's mentioned it before. He's like the system that is currently operating is so rotten to the core, like it has to collapse.
Yeah.
It's not fixable. Basically, I've heard him say that in the past. So we'll see if I'm sure he kind of probably sees it that way still. But maybe there's certain parts that we can rebuild from. You know what I mean? Once the bits that are so rotten really kind of like collapse and implode, maybe there are certain pillars or structures that we can kind of start to rebuild from. Now, I don't think that collapse has fully happened yet. Obviously, there's still an immense amount of corruption in the in
What
the
I
world and
see
the justice
collapsing,
system now.
yeah. What I see collapsing is our way of thinking. Like I don't see
Mhm.
the infrastructure collapsing from one day to another, like
Right,
the government office and all these police station and all that.
right.
These are kind of necessary, but they could be uh, managed differently. Especially
hmm
government should be about truth, not lies. You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
French, it's gouvernement, gouvernement, govern and lies. It tells you in the word, but we're still okay to put those people in power and represent us,
Right.
and so as long as it's geared towards the lie, the big fat lie that we all live, I don't think it's a way, a winning way. It's not a win-win. There's only
Yeah,
one side winning in that case, and it's the rich get richer and the poor gets poorer. So we
exactly.
want something that everyone can thrive. Now, if you don't thrive and sit on your ass and do nothing with your life, that's your choice. You want to
Hmm.
suffer, but we should have equality and rights, like I was saying. The
Right.
fundamental rights should
Hmm.
be respected. Uh, Definitely, we're here in Canada. We have something. It's called la Charte des droits et libertés. Uh, it's a chart of freedom and rights. I think it's called.
Hmm.
And they go and say everything in there that what are the basic human rights. But definitely in a society where everything is about the lie, you need also a chart for the rights. Because, but
Yes.
in a society where we all evolve with truth and the reality, I don't think we would need that much laws and rules and regulation. We would know how to govern ourselves.
Yeah.
You don't know what to do on this earth. And it's why there's a government. Like the system works perfectly. It, it's got to collapse. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But it's working good. It's there to break you and it's doing a great job at it. So,
Right. Yes.
so nothing is broken, nothing needs to be fixed. It's all working perfectly in synergy with you and the rest of the world. You just don't see that they want to break you, they want to capture your. So maybe that's the end game, also, to emancipate yourself from that mental slavery, like Bob
Right.
was
Right.
saying, and
Hmm.
really, like, you don't need all kinds of laws. Like most laws and stuff do not apply to you. From you can go your whole life here without never having to deal with the justice system.
Yeah.
If you deal with them, the police and the judge and the lawyers, it's because you have done something wrong within the system, or you need them for certain, it could be familial issues or stuff.
Right.
And in a society where there's that many people, you need structure, definitely. So I don't see all this going out the door from one day to another.
Right.
It's
Right.
just, I think we can make it better, especially, yeah, the whole justice system should.
Yeah. I mean, and it's partly like, how do we work to start to align the laws that are implemented by people on earth? How do we line that with the divine laws? And what are, like, I mean, there are karmic laws. There is a divine judgment system that people are put through to get sorted into their next existence after life here. But how can we, start to make things more in alignment with that thing, because that's actually going to help people to live their life more purposefully and get to a place where they actually want to be, rather than you know kind of having an idea of like following laws that might not make any sense for their actual evolution or things like that. And yeah, you mentioned that thing of universal income, or so it's like, what should be the basis for what people everyone should have the access to? If access to clean water, access
Water,
to good
shelter,
food, access to shelter, and access to like proper clothing, like, should I mean, it seems like everybody should be able to have that, but I know there are also kind of karmic laws that's like, you get born into a certain situation based on your past actions. So you kind of, it's like people are getting what they deserve cosmically, but you have to work for improvement. You have to work for something better. So it's like, I feel like something like universal income could work, but it would have to come with a system of check and balance to be like, okay, are you clocking in and logging in on your evolution. Did you check the box that you fed yourself well
Yeah.
today? Did you check the box that you did some centering, that you took some time to put some effort into, taking care of yourself and starting to be helpful for yourself and others? I mean, it seems like there's a way that that it could come together, where
The
it's
whole
not
thing, like I wrote, the whole thing should be geared towards evolution.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And you will receive your income if you are committed to evolve
right.
on Earth.
Now that makes sense because we
That
don't
makes
want
sense. I'll
to.
give you a check, no problem, if you evolve, because
Yeah,
then you will be less evil, and it's less evil world for everyone too. You will create less evil.
yeah,
So
exactly. And
I
so,
like
and then,
this.
yeah, the question comes to, like you had mentioned, that idea of abortion. I mean, I think the main one of the common Vedic tenets, like I've heard P say, is live and let live. You
Yeah.
know, but like what is the Vedic point of view on that? I think there are stories in which there were like curses being overcome through what you might call abortive measures, but I'm not sure. Like we would really have to ask somebody who
Yeah.
knows what's up with the Vedic history in an actual coherent way to be able to explain what that is. Because yeah, it doesn't seem like people should use abortive measures frivolously. Um, People find themselves in certain situations and circumstances, and that is it's that's kind of a tough one. I don't really know what exactly to say. I feel like people should have the right to do what they want with their body, but at the same time, where's the line drawn? What is the law actually on that? So
Yeah, because also do whatever with your body, but there should be something taught to us early, which are all the divine laws. Like
mhm.
I've never learned that in school. Like the teacher never came and said, "Today we're gonna learn about divine laws."
I know,
Really, what you should be, how you should behave in a society with
right,
other beings and stuff. Like, yeah, I've learned the Catholic stuff, no? The Ten
right,
Commandments and the nonsense that the church put out all the time.
right.
But I'm talking in school or in at an early age. You should at least have the basic of
Hmm.
what to do here. We
Yeah,
don't. We
no,
don't at all, man. And we go our whole life pretending that we know. So teaching divine laws would be very important in a world where we want to make it a better place. Every being should be made aware of those laws and the consequences of not respecting those laws.
yes, exactly.
That's it. So that's good for that. And the last one I have, Frank, I think it's probably going to be a wrap up with this. It's immigration.
Right.
Immigration is a touchy topic. Touchy topic, of course,
Hmm.
because I think it's good in a certain measure. Yes. But I think also the reason why they encourage it is just divide and conquer again. Like you want to divide the people because we're so set into our ways that we live in different there is different race and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
that just reinforce, I think, the script, the racist script to do a massive immigration like this, where I don't see nothing wrong with you moving from country to country. Probably, yes, there's got to be some form of control associated with you because maybe you have done, maybe you're not a good person and now you want to move to another country and bring all your bad vibe there too. So there's got to be some structure around the immigration also. I don't think we should
Yeah.
be allowed freely to just move wherever we want. because of the simple fact that some human beings are bad. They're
Hmm.
very, very evil.
Yeah.
And what, you gonna let these clowns roam around free like nothing? So probably we pay for the one that are evil and doing all the bad stuff, but it doesn't change the fact that I think there should be some structure around immigration, maybe not with enforcement like we see with ICE in the states. Like
Right.
that entity seems to be going hard at removing people from the country, but
Right.
it's the thing in US I think is very targeted also for people to go live in the US, the American dream and the stuff. It's very
Right.
it's a great place to it's a the Canada and US. I can't say it's a bad place to live. It's a not that bad, honestly, but it's just the laws and all the regulation and the restraining around the fact that maybe also we live in a huge society, lots of people, so we have to have common sense also, and we get impose like in my family here. I have structure, so it
Hmm.
should be the same for the world. So I don't
Yeah.
see
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing wrong with controlling the immigration. That's what I'm talking about. I don't think we
Hmm.
should move freely everywhere we want on Earth, especially not in the collective state that we are on auto destruction, and you just want to seek and destroy. Definitely, we should limit this. And I think PT brought something up in that sense one day when he said, not everyone should be allowed to travel. You should not be allowed to travel if you don't have attained that alignment, centeration, and because you're just bringing your nonsense into another country. So,
That's yep.
or doing the same thing you do at home. You go on a cruise, but you sit on a long chair playing on your phone all the time. What's the difference of sitting on your couch and playing on your phone? So,
Yeah.
uh, immigration is good in a certain way, in a
Hmm.
certain capacity, but definitely I think there should be control being done on this part. Well, how do you see the whole immigration thing? And we should also have countries that are open to receive people from other countries who are suffering a lot more, that help other people that needs a place. That should always be permitted. Like if they go and bomb Syria or whatever, like bring the Syrian people to Canada, that's fine. Like,
Hmm.
but also, do you think that those people moving in here, let's say you come into, you immigrate into Quebec, do you think that they should adapt also to the place where they live? Like for Quebec, we speak French. So there's got to be a bit of French learning. If you want to
Right.
move in here, you better like really assimilate yourself with where you are. If I would go to Mexico, I would start speaking Spanish.
Hmm.
Definitely. I would want to speak. So there's this part also that is important with the immigration is to like blend yourself in the country where you go. I think
Right.
it's
Right.
a must also. And not because I want everyone to be the same, but that's the way people live here. They speak English, French. So if you come from another place, it's often the language that is targeted. Like
Hmm.
what you have to do, like others, is speak their language.
Right.
So yes, definitely. Like if I go in Albania, I want to start speaking Albanian. Definitely.
Hmm. Yeah.
I think it's Aferdista. She's from Albania too,
Right.
and Albanian for life in the chat. I'm guessing he's from Albania.
Yeah.
Beautiful country, Albania. All
Yeah.
those, it's beautiful everywhere. It's such a beautiful earth. So, Frank,
Absolutely.
immigration, what do you say about that? Did I
Yeah.
miss some point or?
Well, yeah. I mean, just the consideration of the movement of peoples in different places around the earth. So there is that, like you said, the idea of like going through customs, and so we should um, have if people want to like replant themselves in a long term kind of thing, there should be some type of adaptation program that would kind of catch you up to speed on what is the way of the people, the language, and the common things that are going on there. But it should also integrate each one of those customs for wherever you go should integrate a universal how like way code of conduct
Yeah.
that should be, involving people's taking care of their well-being, people's proper interaction with the earth and the environment, and a notification of what's going to happen. Because it should. I mean, literally, like P said in some other interview, he's like, it's not against the law to kill animals. You know, so people should know that, like, we should change some laws. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that shouldn't, like we need new ones. But in terms of this immigration thing, yeah, like
Yeah. Why is it not a murder to go kill an animal in the wild? It should be a
right,
murder.
yeah. And the way that nature interacts with itself and the way that humans interact with nature is on a different level because we are like of a different order. You know what I mean? In terms of, so we like, because people might say, well, animals kill animals. Like, yeah, but we're in a different situation than they're on a survival kind of program, and that is part of what they have to deal with in their existence. You know what I mean? And with the way that the world is now, like there is access to more resources than there ever has been before for most of people all around the world. So it shouldn't be the case where we have to resort to killing an animal for food or something like that. No, you were going to say something.
Yeah, we are. They are on survival, definitely, but we are also on survival. But like PD said,
Serve.
are.
Yes,
So
exactly.
yeah,
Right.
no, larger PT, that's a good one. Survival, definitely.
Yes.
We don't
So
serve. We don't serve the right stuff, the right
yeah, if you're
everything.
serving the evil system, then you're harming yourself in the long run. They might give you some short-term rewards for that service, but we want to be of service to divine and work with nature and with the elements in a harmonious way. That's the bigger, more positive, and that's going to be what's actually going to work out for us in the long run, forever, always.
And working for higher and divine is also going to cure your loneliness feeling. If you feel
Hmm.
lonely, if you don't feel supported, don't feel blessed, don't feel uh, highly favored, or it's because you just don't feel it, you don't know it. So
Yeah,
go out and start learning how to become blessed, how to attract everything that you want for your life, for your well being. Like
right.
there is a possible that we all become supported, but it's just you're on the wrong payroll. So change your payroll.
Mhm. Yeah,
Divine, higher and divine payroll,
yeah.
definitely. So
So as far as the immigration, I mean, we're all Earth people, right? And so, you know, it's not that anybody has a place where they can't exist. We divine has put us here. Now there, I feel like there are certain groups of peoples who might thrive more in certain areas or environments or with certain tasks or something like that. They might have a proclivity for doing certain things, and so maybe it'd be helpful if they can fill in some areas where it's needed, the thing that they do well or something like that.
yeah.
um but yeah, it would be interesting to hear what P
Oh,
can share on
very,
this
very
integration.
interesting. I think we have covered pretty much all the points I wanted to cover with you. We're at the end. There's nothing left. So
Very
we
cool.
have went through it all. It took us 6 episodes, not bad, 6
Right,
hours.
right.
Probably gonna be the same thing with PT. Maybe in 2, 3 episodes, we should be
That'd be
able to.
cool if it is stretched out even more. I love hearing Pete talk
Yeah,
every
no, for sure. We
time.
all love. I love to hear him talk. Period. Now, what
Uh-huh.
he's gonna talk about, I'll dig the vibe definitely. But I
Yes.
just
Yes.
love to hear him talk.
I
So
know.
definitely, he will be here on the first, and us we're back together again on the next Moon Day. We're not
That's right.
finished yet,
Yes.
but yeah, we'll see where we go with that. But for this one, I think it's a wrap. Went
Yes.
through large up for your help, for your input and
Definitely. Yeah.
perspective on everything. It was very helpful. I needed help. I told you I said I need to put my thoughts
Right.
together before PT shows up. So I
Yes.
think I have everything for us to go on and have a great show with PT. So large up, Frank.
Excited for that. Yes.
Yeah,
Gratitude, Yannick, and looking forward to further conversations and learning. Really, this is just such a great opportunity to learn and converse and, like work on this concept of, yeah, how can we improve ourselves? How can we establish a foundation for a better present and a better future for
yeah,
everyone?
and it's
All
up to us humans to figure these things out. I am not carrying the whole world on my shoulder today, but I'm carrying my world, and my world should change. So be the
Yes.
change you want to see in the world. Boom.
Very true.
We're out. See ya.
Peace.
Peace.